So now we're in the narthex of the Cathedral of Hope building, built in 1993, which is the largest predominantly LGBT church in the world, that happens to have a very large congregation at about 4,500 members right now, which is very large. I believe it's still in the top 1% in the nation. We're very proud, obviously. So this is the sanctuary of the Cathedral of Hope. What you may notice immediately about this sanctuary is there are lots of triangles in this room. And of course, that comes from history when the Nazis were identifying gay people with pink triangles on their uniforms in the concentration camps. So the gay community has reclaimed that symbol for ourselves, and this building reflects that in that there's lots of triangles in the building and lots of symbols in the stained glass windows. Interesting fact, these stained glass windows were designed to be somewhat bulletproof. At the time this building was built, there were lots of threats that gay people shouldn't have a church, that was going against the Word of God, which we know now is incorrect. This is the Hope Day School, which is a day school for children. So on Sundays, we have a great children's ministry. We'll typically have 50 to 60 children in here, and they get a whole separate lesson of their own from Big Church, because while we believe children are very welcome into the sanctuary at any time, the leadership realizes that children tend to want to play and they want to be noisy. So it's better for them, for their experience, to have their own space where they can learn about Jesus and the Bible in their own way without interrupting the adults who are in the sanctuary. So the TV ministry was started, I'm going to say 1993, by Valda Lewis, because Reverend Piazza knew that there were gay youth nationwide who didn't realize that they could be gay and Christian, and that Jesus loved them just as much as Jesus loved everybody else. So he asked Valda to start a TV ministry, and initially they were only on in about 30 cities around the U.S. because what they were doing was recording the services and then editing them down onto tapes to a 30-minute program and then distributing them via public access television. We had about 30 cities back in the day that were doing that, and we had a person in each city who would request the program on their local channel, and then we would send them a tape via UPS mail, Postal Service mail. They would take the tape to the cable company, hand it in, and fill out some paperwork that said, I want to air this program, and they would get aired on cable access in their city. Nowadays, anyone can watch around the world via the internet, and we have people watching from all over the world. We routinely hear from people in places far away as Africa and Saudi Arabia and China and all over the U.S. as well. And the TV ministry continues to be a strong ministry, which is completely led by volunteers. The same is true, of course, of the choir and orchestra is completely volunteer-led, and our ministries are volunteer-led as well. And every Saturday, we feed almost 250 people here in the building a free breakfast. It's called Breakfast at the Cathedral. It's typically a lot of homeless people have heard that they get a free meal at the Cathedral of Hope, so they come in droves, and we have people who volunteer to give haircuts and shaves, and also we hand out food as well from our pantry. So it's a great ministry.